Hare Krishna. We would like to now officially welcome all of you to the Ramayan Yatra Part 2. Today, we'll be giving an introduction to the mood of the whole Yatra. And we're going to give some meditations of all the sections of the Ramayan that we have already discussed, and a little summary of what is going to come ahead. So today is more or less going to be like a mood building and getting into the groove of the Ramayan, basically. But you can expect a lot of analysis. You can expect a lot of very deep insights, and you can expect some amazing absorption meditation on the pastimes of Lord Ram today. At the end of the session, I will also give you all a brief of Gaya, of the places that we're going to be visiting tomorrow, but more importantly of the story behind the places that we're going to be visiting, connected to the Ramayan specifically. So that's the two things that we're going to be doing today. So I hope all of you are ready to absorb yourself. Okay, so for all those who are here for this yatra, we will be having regular quizzes on whatever we are discussing. Okay, this little girl over here sitting right in the front, she is going to be examining all of y'all, and she's already in the mood of setting question papers for all of y'all. So she is very much she's already told me right in the beginning that I want to conduct a quiz. So we'll be having some quiz. Okay, so that might be some impetus for you all to observe yourself and stay attentive. Okay. Kujantam Rama Rameti Maduram Maduraksharam Aruhya Kavita Shakam Vande Valmiki Kokilam Valmikir Muni Simhasya Kavita Vanicharena Shunva Rama Katanadam Kona Yanti Parangatim. Offering our respects to Valmiki Muni, the original author of the Ramayan, we will begin the Ram Katha. The scriptures are all divided into different parts. So if you study, these are some words that you'll come across in the scriptures. Skanda, Parva, Kanda. So these are different words that are used, right, to describe chapters, divisions of scriptures. The word Skanda means twigs, twig. The word Parva means knots. The word Kanda means circles in a tree. So if you have seen how trees are, so basically all these three things, three words, now Parva, Skanda, Kanda, all of them are connected to trees only, right? So our scriptures are very much connected in nature. So whatever we find in our scriptures is very natural in its in its being. And therefore, while we are in Nepal, Gaya, Nepal, this whole tract of land, that we are going to be traversing over the next 7 days, you will find a lot of natural elements. You will find mountains, you will find beautiful scenic trees, you will find a lot of natural places. For those who are staying in cities and concrete jungles, this will be a welcome change. And the good thing is that as we go out of Gaya, Gaya is like a proper city, right? As we go out of Gaya towards Sita and then eventually to Janakpur and all these places, you will all start losing range in your mobile phones. That is the first proof that we are going into nature. So don't get agitated, disturbed, bewildered, confused. This is a natural part of purification. So for some time, we'll be disconnected from the material world and get connected towards the spiritual world. So the last yatra that we did, we went to Prayag, Ayodhya, Prayag and Chitrakoot. And we did the second Kand of the Ramayan, which is Ayodhya Kand, prominently. Because naturally, that's the sequence. So if you remember the last yatra, I began with Balakand, where Valmiki Muni is discussing with Narad Muni, and then eventually Lavakush start narrating the Ramayan. And then I went up to the point where Lord Ram was born, because that happened in Ayodhya, right? And from that point where Ram was born, I directly went to the point where Ram was going to be coronated as a king. And then I began discussing that part, right? Because all those sections happened in Ayodhya. Ideally, after finishing till the birth of Ram, we should have come to Mithila. Because that's the sequence, naturally. But obviously, logistically, that won't work. So we're kind of, doing this into two parts. So today, or rather from this point onwards, what we'll be doing through this yatra will be going into the section from the point where Ram is born till the point where Ram gets married to Mother Sita and returns back to Ayodhya. Right? That's the entire belt of Ramayan that we're going to be covering in the next 7 days. Essentially, this is going to be hardcore Balakand of Ramayan. Why is Balakand called Balakand? There are 3 reasons why Balakand is called Balakand. The first reason it is called Balakand because all of us, the audience of the Balakand, are all Bala or kids, children. And we have no idea of the supremacy of the Supreme Lord, Ram. When we read and when we hear the Balakand, over a period of the whole Balakand, we will start becoming adults. Therefore, because we are all kids, therefore this Kand is called Balakand. Because this Kand is the introduction of Ram to children like us. The second reason this Kand is called Balakand is because when Vishwamitra Muni comes to Lord Ram, to Ayodhya, to take Ram with him into the forest, Vishwamitra Muni was a very powerful and austere sage. He was exalted and he was very, very mature as far as the path of austerity is concerned. But as far as the path of bhakti is concerned, he was a kid. He was a Bala. So the Balakand begins with Vishwamitra coming in, and then it ends with Vishwamitra Muni marrying Ram and Sita. So the journey of Vishwamitra Muni coming to meet Ram for the first time and staying with Ram all the way till he gets married to Sita, that journey is the Balakand of Ramayan. And it essentially is the journey of Vishwamitra Muni from being a child to becoming a mature adult in devotional service. So through these entire 7 days, we're going to see the transformation of Vishwamitra Muni. We're going to see the way this individual, this person transforms into such a mature person at the end of the Balakand. From being a very frivolous person, I'm talking about from a devotional point of view, unrealized person from a devotional point of view, to becoming a highly self-realized person, from a bhakti point of view. The third reason this section is called Balakand is because when Ram touched Ahalya, she was a stone. When Ram touched Ahalya, that Sheila became a Bala. Bala in Sanskrit also refers to girl. So therefore, this section of Ramayana is called Balakand. Because it's a section of, a stone becoming a girl, basically. So all of us are in one sense like stones, inert. But with the touch of Lord Ram, we can all become, very much alive. And interestingly, the philosophy, spiritually, all of us are Prakriti. All of us are women. Ram is only Purusha. God is only, male, isn't it? Everybody else is female. So, in one sense, the transformation of Ahalya from a stone to a girl is also a transformation of all of us from, becoming Jada to becoming Prakriti, which can be enjoyed by the Purusha. So, these are all the three reasons why this section is called Balakand of the Ramayan. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do two things. I'll begin by doing a little summary of the first Yatra of the Ramayan, but I'm not going to do a story-wise summary. I'm going to do an analytical summary. I'm going to say some things that are from the previous Yatra, but in a way that will make you happy. And then after that, I'm going to be getting into this Kand of Ramayan, the Balakand of Ramayan. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to summarize the entire Balakand. What we're going to do in the entire 7 days, I'm going to kind of give you all it's called a prequel. Sequel is afterwards what happened. This prequel is what before only what you're going to experience. I'm going to give you all like a quick summary of it. So that's what we're going to be doing now. When Lord Ram gave his paduka to Bharat in Chitraput, somebody asked Lord Ram, why did he give the paduka to Bharat while he stayed in the forest? Why didn't he go along with Bharat? He could have kept his paduka in the forest and gone with Bharat to Ayodhya. Ram gave a very interesting answer, which is a very interesting meditation. Ram said that most people don't see the presence of God. See, Ram said, most people don't see my presence even when I'm standing in front of them. But Bharat is so great that he could see my presence even in the paduka. And therefore, I chose to send the paduka with Bharat. So, what is the meaning of seeing Ram's presence in the paduka? That paduka represents many things. And one of the things that paduka represents is the principles behind which Ram stands, the principles that Ram believes in. So, when Bharat is taking the paduka of Ram back, he is also taking back the opinion of Lord Ram, the belief systems of Lord Ram, the principles of Lord Ram. And for Bharat, he can feel the presence of Ram in the paduka of Ram. Anything that is connected to the spiritual master and God is called tadiya. The word tadiya means remnants. That means anything that is touched by the Lord, it becomes tadiya. It becomes worshipable. Ram put his foot on the paduka once, that's all. The paduka becomes worshipable forever. The paduka now represents him, basically. So similarly, all of us, we all have something like a paduka in our life. Something that has been touched by the Lord or touched by the Guru by the spiritual master. It could be different things that we have. It could be a garland that we have. It could be the footwear of the spiritual master. It could be a cloth used by the spiritual master. It could be a jewelry used by the deities. It could be anything. When you have that thing in your house or in your possession, what does that mean? That means you literally have the presence of the Lord in your life, the presence of the spiritual master in your life. Unfortunately, we don't give value to that holy item, isn't it? And we get garlands randomly and we just keep them aside. We don't really give value to those things. We get some jewelry of the deities, we just keep them aside. We don't really give so much value to them. Ram only touched the paduka once. But for Bharat, that paduka now represents Ram. So all of us in our life, we should start looking at the connection of the holy things that we have in our lives. in this yatra, all of you are going to get a lot of garlands. You're going to get a lot of prasad. You're going to get a lot of holy things, right? Don't take those holy things for granted. Don't take them for granted. They potentially are God only. They potentially as good as the Supreme Lord. Bharat literally reported to that paduka for 14 years. Now, if you look at it from a logical point of view, I'm sure all of you all have seen small kids playing with toys, right? With dolls. How seriously they take those dolls. They really take those dolls seriously, isn't it? They feed them, they clothe them, they bathe them, they put them to sleep. They really take those dolls very seriously. As you grow in your life, as you become older and older, those kiddish games don't make sense to you anymore. You think, what is this, Playing with a doll doesn't make any sense. But as you become even more mature in your spiritual life, you realize what these children are doing only was right. These children, they actually found the presence of something that they believe in those dolls, right? Now, for us, even when God stands in front of us, we don't have faith in Him. And Bharat had faith in the Paduka. So we all can choose to have faith like Bharat. The mala that we carry, the beads that we carry, don't think they are ordinary. If they're touched by the spiritual master, they are no more ordinary. If they are put at the feet of the Lord and given to you, they are no more ordinary. If the kanti mala that you wear is offered to the feet of the Lord and you wear it, it's no more ordinary. Do not take these things to be ordinary because they carry the presence of the Lord in them. So, there are two people in the Ramayan that were exactly opposite in nature. One is Bharat and one is Manthara. Bharat is a saint and Manthara is a non-saint. So, what is the difference between a saint and a non-saint? Saint is someone who is ready to bear unlimited amount of pain for the welfare of other people. But an unsaint is someone who is willing to bear unlimited amount of sorrow for the bad of others. So, if you look at Manthara, the entire of Ayodhya was joyous. They were so happy. But this one person was sad. A non-saint is somebody who becomes sad when others are happy. And a saint is someone who becomes sad when others are in pain. So, saintly person was Bharat and the unsaintly person was Manthara. Both had a lot of pain in their heart. His heart is burning that his brother Ram and Sita have to walk in the jungle without footwear, dressed in as ascetics. Manthara's heart is burning because Ram is going to become the king. One's heart is burning because of someone's pain, and the other's heart is burning because of the other person's joy. When your heart burns, when you see somebody successful, that's Manthara attitude. If your heart burns when you see somebody happy, that's Manthara attitude. When your heart burns when you see somebody successful, somebody progressing spiritually, that's Manthara attitude. But if your heart burns when you see somebody in pain, that's Bharat's attitude. If your heart burns when you see somebody suffering, that is Bharat's attitude. When your heart burns when you see somebody is not getting what they deserve, that's Bharat's attitude. So now the question is, and the interesting thing is, Bharat is unable to eat or sleep when he's seeing that Ram is in pain, and Manthara is also not able to eat or sleep when he's seeing Ram is happy. Bharat is called Bhakti Shiromani. He is the topmost devotee. And Manthara is called Kutil Shiromani. She is the topmost conspirator, hypocrite. One is a jewel of bhakti, and the other is a jewel of cunningness. The interesting thing is that we saw the entire Ayodhya, the first section of the Ramayan, we saw both of these personalities. We saw the whole mood of Manthara and we saw the whole mood of Bharat. And then obviously now we have to see for ourselves, what is that mood that we identify with? Does others' joy make us happy? Or does others' joy make us miserable? Does others' pain make us experience pain? Or do we rejoice when others are in pain? That's what we have to decide and we have to look at. A saintly person is someone who tries to keep Ram in the front. In the Ramayan, if you remember the section where Ram, Lakshman and Sita left from Ayodhya, they went to the forest. I was describing how Ram walked in the front, Sita walked in between, and then Lakshman walked ahead. Lakshman walked right in at the back, isn't it? So, this is exactly the way we have to walk in life. Aage Ram. Keep Ram ahead of you. Keep Ram ahead of yourself and walk behind Ram. So, keeping Ram in the front, it means that we are trying to keep God in the front of us as a guide, as someone who is guiding our journey of life. People always say that we should remember God. We should think of God when we start a new journey, a new project, a new venture. And we should always keep God with us. That's what people tell us. But the question is, do you keep God ahead of you or do you keep God behind you? A lot of people want God to be behind them. What is the meaning of keeping God behind you? Keeping God behind you means I decide what I want to do, God should back me up. I make my plans, I do what I want to do, but God should back me. That means God should make sure that I don't fail. We should make sure that I don't mess up. I am not interested in following God. I want God to follow me. That's what most people take up bhakti for. God is their backup plan. When they take up the path of bhakti, they strongly feel that whatever I do, God is there to protect me. And the most amazing thing is that when they fail, when they really go through pain, they blame God. What is this? We thought we are behind you, you are behind us, and you let us down like this. But the idea that the scriptures teach us is that we allow God to remain ahead of us, guide us, and we walk the path that God is leading us to. So we tell God we are going where our selfishness lies, where my desires take me and you come behind me. So the point is that we should stop telling God, you back up my selfishness, you back up my self-interest, you back up my plans. But rather we should tell God, my dear Lord, you lead us. We'll follow you. And that's what Lakshman does. And Lakshman and Sita does. Lakshman walks behind. A detached person walks behind God. But a bhogi, an enjoyer, will keep God behind. This is the difference between a detached person and an enjoyer. When you keep God ahead of you, you don't exactly get to do what you want. There's a lot of sacrifice involved in it. There's a lot of sacrifice involved in keeping God ahead of you. But keeping God behind you, there's not much sacrifice involved. In fact, God has to sacrifice for you. You expect God to, do a lot of sacrifices for your behalf. You expect God to do a lot of exceptions on your behalf. You expect God to allow you to do what you want, and yet be with you. Isn't that how we think? So we want God to be with us, but on our terms. But keeping God ahead means that we are following God on His terms. So Lakshman followed Ram. He never told Ram what he wants. He just did what Ram wants. And that's what the whole idea is. So he wants to be, so most people want to be God's older brother. But Lakshman wants to be God's younger brother. Older brother means, I will tell you, follow me. And younger brother means, you tell, I will follow you. In the Balakand of the Ramayan, there are 4 prominent sections or 4 prominent stories that we are going to be seeing over the next 7 days. These are 4 incidences. The first incident is the killing of Tataka, this huge demoness that Ram kills. The second incident is the deliverance of Ahalya. So Ram delivers, this personality named Ahalya. The third incident is the breaking of Lord Shiva's bow. And the fourth incident is Ram's pulling Lord Vishnu's bow. So these are 4 incidences that we are going to analyze through the next 7 days. This is essentially what Balakand is. And these 4 incidences that we're going to analyze actually are 4 incidences that will happen in our life also. In all our life, we will go through these 4 things. Killing of Tataka, deliverance of Ahalya, breaking of Lord Shiva's bow, and pulling of Lord Vishnu's bow. So when you when you go through these 4 incidences in your life, what these 4 incidents represent, I'm not talking about, I'm not saying that you will go and kill Tataka, Obviously you won't, I'm not saying you will lift Fyudanush. I'm talking about the principle behind these 4 incidents. The principle behind these 4 incidences we all will experience in our own lives. That's the journey from being a child to becoming a mature adult in your spiritual life. What do these 4 incidences signify? And what do these 4 incidences convey in our life is what we're going to see now. Each of these 4 incidences represent something very important in our spiritual journey. And each of these 4 incidences represent something that we can all learn from and progress in our spiritual journey. The first incidents, and interestingly, the sequence in which these 4 incidences happen is the sequence in which all of us will experience these 4 incidences. So that means in our journey of bhakti, these 4 incidences have to happen. And what these 4 incidences represent has to happen in our life also. And only when that happens in our life, we will actually progress in our journey. So essentially, these 4 incidences talk about a war that is going on within us. The Ramayan is an ancient story that happened in Treta Yuga. But actually, the Ramayan is happening in all our lives. That's why I called the series which I wrote Ramayan, the game of life. Because it's the game of our life. So apparently we are seeing stories from Ramayan. But actually we are seeing story of our life only. We think Ram killed Tataka. But actually it is something that we have to do ourselves also. So that's the correlation. So I will help you understand how these 4 incidences are directly connected to your life. And as I share with you also, right now I'm not going to get into the details of all these incidences. I'm assuming that all of you all know these incidences. But I'm just going to get into the analysis of these 4 incidences and the parallels that it leads to our life. But when I actually go through the 4 incidences later, when we do the whole sequence from tomorrow onwards, you will actually see how all these 4 incidences are very, very powerfully connected to our lives. So, Tataka, Ahalya, the bow of Lord Shiva, and the bow of Lord Vishnu, they all are incidences that will happen in a sadhaka's life one by one. The first is killing of Tataka. Tataka is there in all of us. What does Tataka represent in us? Tataka represents false hope of a person. All of us have false hopes. When you come to the path of bhakti, you have to learn to give up false hopes. I'll explain what this means. Tataka and her sons, Marich and Subhahu, they were creating a lot of obstacles in sacrifice. What is the meaning of sacrifice? Sacrifice means offering, right? So, when to give others means is a sacrifice. But in this, the greatest obstacle is Tataka. That means when we give something to others, we expect something in return from them. That is Tataka. When parents do something good for kids, they expect that later on kids will take care of me. That is Tataka. When a husband does something good for the wife, the husband expects that wife will reciprocate. That is Tataka. When a disciple does something for the spiritual master, the disciple thinks the spiritual master will give me some special reciprocation. That is Tataka. When you do bhakti and you do chanting, you expect that God will do some special favors to you. You will get promotion. That is Tataka. So anytime you do a sacrifice and you expect something in return, that is Tataka. So every person who does something for his family or something for society has very high expectations in return. That is Tataka. And the expectations are so high. That is why Tataka is so tall. That is why Tataka is so huge. Why is Tataka so huge and so big in size? Because that's how big our expectations are from everybody. I'm sure all of you will agree, right? We do something little for somebody and we expect the world only back from them. We do little for our organization and we expect that, every year we'll get promotion. We do little for society and we expect the best of roads and the best of facilities, everything should be best. So the characteristic of the mind is that if we do not expect anything and if we are content with whatever little we get, we'll be so peaceful. Unfortunately, Tataka is never peaceful. Because her expectations are so high all the time. One of the biggest reasons all of us are so miserable in life is because we have too high expectations from others. The beginning of spiritual life is when you drop those expectations from other people. So if you have extremely high expectations, we get upset if those are not fulfilled, if our desires are not fulfilled. Those false hopes and expectations are Tataka. Therefore, we should expect nothing from others except the Lord. Then alone we can say Tataka is killed. As long as we have expectations from others, Tataka is dancing in our lives. Tataka is very much alive in our lives. Tataka is growing tall in our lives. That is why the great devotees of the Lord pray very earnestly to the Lord. You know how great devotees pray to the Lord? They pray, my dear Lord, please remove three things from our life: hope, trust, and faith in other human beings. As long as we have hope that somebody will reciprocate with us, as long as we have hope that, as long as we have trust, and as long as we have, faith, we will always somehow or the other be let down. Right? And therefore, the only person that we should have hope, faith, and trust in should be the Supreme Lord. Everybody else are not capable only of fulfilling your hope, trust, and expectations. Human beings are not capable only. And therefore, who is a true devotee? A true devotee is a person without any false hopes. That person is a true devotee. So, if somebody is a servant of the Lord and he still has expectations from people of this world, that means Tataka is still alive in that person's life. If you love your family, so that means when you give love to your family, don't expect anything in return. We offer all our beauties at the lotus feet of the Lord, and all our expectations are surrendered to the Lord. That is when Tataka is dead. So the first thing that we can learn from the Balakand of the Ramayan is it is very important to kill Tataka. That means it is very important to kill hope of expecting reciprocation from people of this world. Spiritually, we'll progress very much the day we drop these expectations from people of this world. The only person that we can have any hope, trust, and faith in is the Supreme Lord. That's all. Everybody else is somehow or the other going to let us down. So let us invest our faith in the Supreme Lord. Let us, whatever duties we do it as a matter of duty. For our family, for our children, for society, for our organization, we do it as a matter of duty. We don't expect much from there. Expect from the Lord. The Lord will take care of you. Therefore, Prabhupada always made this very powerful statement. He said that your source of income is not the source of your maintenance. Don't think your company is maintaining you. The Supreme Lord is only maintaining you. Your company is giving you salary, but they are not actually maintaining you. The Supreme Lord only is maintaining you. So the lesser we have hopes from people of this world, and the more we repose our faith, trust, and hope in the Supreme Lord, the better we'll be, and the faster we'll kill Tataka in our life. The second thing we said, I spoke about deliverance of Ahalya. So once false hope or expectations of a person is eradicated, that is when the mind is purified. So the moment your false expectations are eradicated, your mind becomes actually very peaceful. If you notice, all the source of agitation in your mind is simply because of expectations from others. The moment all your expectations are purified, all your hopes are taken off from your mind, you will be very peaceful. Your mind will be sorted. That's the first thing that as a sadhaka we should do. After the mind is purified, the second thing is Ahalya should be delivered. And what is Ahalya? Ahalya represents the intelligence. The story is that Ahalya was created by Lord Brahma, and seeing her, Indra thought that Brahma will marry her to him. But Lord Brahma thought differently. He thought of marrying Ahalya to Rishi Gautam Rishi. And Indra got very upset. He was very disturbed. Why did Brahma choose to marry Ahalya to Gautam Rishi and not to Indra? Because Indra lives in the heaven. It's a place of sense gratification. Gautam Rishi lives in the forest. It's a place of sense control. So, Brahma was thinking that it is better to get Ahalya married to Gautam Rishi, who lives a very austere life. Intelligence should be married to Dharma. Intelligence should be married to self-control. If you marry intelligence to sense gratification, very dangerous. You go to America. What is America? America is simply intelligence married to sense gratification. The entire Western world. Super use of intelligence, how to have fun. You go to the Western world, the kind of rides they have, the kind of theme parks they have, the kind of malls they have, unparalleled ideas how to enjoy the senses. This is what happens when Ahalya gets married to Indra. Brahmaji understood. Very dangerous to marry Ahalya to Indra. So he married Ahalya to Gautam Rishi. So now Ahalya was very devoted to her husband. And one day, Gautam Rishi heard the sound of a hen. And obviously, when traditionally when hens crow, when roosters crow, it's early in the morning, it's sunrise basically. They don't look at the sun. They just hear these sounds and they follow their routine. So Gautam Rishi went to have a bath, and that time Indra comes. And Ahalya is an illusion, thinking Indra to be her husband, because he comes disguised as Gautam Rishi. And then eventually Gautam Rishi comes back and he sees Indra there. He curses both Ahalya and Indra. He curses Ahalya to become a stone, and he curses Indra to have eyes all over his body. And both of them fall at Gautam Rishi's feet and beg forgiveness. And Ahalya said she got illusioned by what she saw. Gautam Rishi told her, "You will be delivered by Lord Ram." Now, let us just try to understand this incident from our life point of view. And when we analyze this incident from our life point of view, we realize this is exactly what happens in our life. The problem of Ahalya is exactly the problem of our lives. Ahalya is non-different from our intellect. So we all have Ahalya inside us, right? So intelligence is supposed to be very beautiful and attractive. Now, who is not amazed by intelligence? Unfortunately, all of us think we are very intelligent. Isn't it? No matter how stupid you are, we tend to think that we are very intelligent. And anybody who thinks they are very intelligent, they are very attracted by their intelligence. So the question is, whom should the intelligence marry? The intelligence has two options, Indra or Gautam. And what's the difference between Indra and Gautam? Indra is also auspicious. It's not that Indra is a bad guy. Indra is also auspicious, but he strongly believes that sense gratification is the goal of life. And Gautam Rishi is also auspicious, but he strongly believes that austerity and sacrifice is the goal of life. So all of us also have two schools of thoughts. One is sense gratification and enjoyment, and the other is renunciation and dharma and righteousness. And interestingly, we kind of oscillate between the two. That's why we are called as part-time devotees. Sometimes we are very connected with, righteousness and dharma, and sometimes we feel very inspired by sense gratification and by, by the idea of fun, isn't it? And literally, we are like that. Literally, we are like Ahalya, attracted to, dharma also, but sense gratification also seems interesting, So Gautam Rishi, Lord Brahma chose Gautam Rishi over Indra, and that was in the interest of his daughter. That means Brahma decided that intelligence should be used in the service of austerity and renunciation and not be engaged in the service of sense gratification. Now, there can be enjoyment in life, but don't use so much intelligence for enjoyment. Enjoy, no problem. But you don't use so much intelligence for enjoyment, right? Intelligence should be used for dharma. And by the way, if you can enjoy, that's fine. But if you put so much of energy in just enjoying, then that energy, that intellect that is supposed to be used for dharmic things, that is supposed to be used for, purifying ourselves, that entire energy is used in the wrong direction. How much fun or how much excitement people have in innovating new things, in coding, in making money, in starting new ventures and businesses. So much of intelligence used in all this direction. And how much intelligence used in studying scriptures, tell me? The same fellows who use so much intelligence in earning trillions and billions of dollars, they will not even use 1/4, one fraction of that energy in studying the scriptures. Look at our own example. I know so many devotees who tell me almost shamelessly that I don't feel like studying scriptures. I don't think I can understand the scriptures. Yes, you can understand complicated trading problems, very complicated stock market issues. You can analyze very, very strongly trends of business. All that you can use your intelligence for. You can use your intelligence for, uh, cracking new customers, getting new clients, and solving complicated problems. All that very, very aptly we use intelligence for. But when it comes to studying Srimad Bhagavatam, we feel sleepy. The, the moment you pick up Bhagavatam, suddenly Nidra Devi comes and embraces us so dearly, isn't it? Many people tell me the best sleep comes the moment we study Prabhupada books. It's amazing, how much so that see, it's not that we don't have intelligence. It's just that we choose to marry our intelligence to sense gratification. Have you ever slept in a mall? Have you ever slept while doing shopping? Have you ever slept while doing something that you're not supposed to be doing? There we become super active. In fact, we will lose sleep to go, to buy a ticket for a movie, first day, first show. People are ready to lose sleep for sense gratification. But when it comes to using our intelligence to study scriptures, suddenly intelligence doesn't work only. It's a very strange phenomena, right? So Ahalya's problem is not only Ahalya's problem, it is all our problem also. So Ahalya is inside us also in one sense. The intellect in the form of Indra, it deceives us. Indra comes disguised as Gautam, which means sensuality, sense gratification comes in the form of renunciation sometimes. And the interesting thing is that we think we are renouncing, but it's actually sense gratification only. So, when we are on the path of renunciation, we suddenly get a proposal given by our intelligence that convinces us this is Gautam, convinces us that this is Dharma, but actually it's not. So Ahalya is not gone. Ahalya is very much there in our lives. So here, and especially when this idea comes from somebody who is senior to us, that's when the problem is even more complicated. See, Bharat was confronted by a very similar situation. His mother told him that you sit on the throne of Ayodhya. And but his Ahalya was very smart. He immediately realized this is not Gautam. This is Indra. He said, I can't accept this. I can't accept the throne. He was very clever. So in all our lives also, we will come across situations where somebody senior to us is telling us, do this. This is Gautam in your life. But you should have the intelligence to discriminate what is Gautam and what is Indra. Bharat immediately said, this is not Gautam, this is Indra. Bharat said, I can't sit on the throne. His guru Vashishta told him, sit on the throne. He said, no, I will not even listen to my guru's words. Bali Maharaj, he went through the same thing, isn't it? His guru Shukracharya told him, don't give, 3 steps of land to Vamanadev. Bali Maharaj thought for a minute. Is this person who is supposed to be my guru? Is he telling me to marry Indra or is he telling me to marry Gautam? Apparently, it seems to be Gautam because, Shukracharya is his guru who is telling him to give spiritual instruction. But Bali said, no, this is not Gautam, this is Indra, who is disguised as Gautam. So all of us, so how will we and when will this corrupt intelligence be purified? In this context, Gautam Rishi says something very beautiful. Gautam Rishi tells Ahalya that I don't have the capacity to help you. He tells her, this power is only there in the lotus feet of Lord Ram. So, when Lord Ram comes to meet Ahalya, Ahalya, she makes a very beautiful prayer. She offers a very beautiful prayer to Lord Ram. So Lord Ram comes, and I'm not going to get into details of the pastime because I'm going to go into that later. This is just like a prequel, right? So Lord Ram comes and delivers Ahalya. He puts his feet on Ahalya and the stone becomes a beautiful girl. And immediately Ahalya offers a prayer to Lord Ram. She tells him, my dear Lord, you have delivered me now. You have made me from a stone to a woman again. So that in one sense, Ahalya has given, Ram has given birth to Ahalya. So he becomes Ahalya's father. So Ahalya tells Ram, but my mind is like a bumblebee. My mind jumps from one flower to another. My mind keeps moving from one temptation to another. She says, please bless me that the bumblebee of my mind can constantly sit at the lotus of your feet. I do not want to go anywhere else. So Ahalya, when she says that mind is like a bumblebee, the bumblebee technically it represents a dissatisfied mind that is constantly looking for satisfaction in different things. Tell me one thing. What have you ever bought any product that has given you full satisfaction? You buy a mobile phone, and the day you buy, you will realize that maybe I should have bought this phone. You buy a particular dress. The moment you buy it, you realize, oh, I should have bought this dress. You have a particular type of hairstyle. You go and spend hours together. And after you make that hairstyle, you realize, oh no, I should have had this hairstyle. What the hell? Whatever you do, your mind is not satisfied only. You take up a particular job in a particular company. After some time, you say, oh no, I should have applied to this company. You cook a particular food item. While you're eating, you think, oh no, maybe I should have cooked this. The nature of the mind is exactly what Ahalya is saying. It is never satisfied. It is always jumping from one flower to another. And Ahalya says, my dear Lord, please give me the strength that I do not get tempted by all the other flowers and only sit at your lotus feet. And therefore, we all need to pray like Ahalya for the intellect to be purified. So first thing is the false hope or expectation that is Tataka is eradicated. That means we don't have hope, we don't have expectation from anyone, anything from this world. And we only repose all our hope, trust and faith in the Supreme Lord. And the second thing is Ahalya, which represents the intelligence. So Tataka, the first one represents the mind, how the mind can be reposed. And how the mind will be peaceful the moment you stop expecting from others. The second is the intelligence. How Ahalya, the intelligence is purified by taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord and asking the Lord for strength to say no to temptations. We all have one big problem in our life. We don't know how to say no. Especially if you're born in the land of India, from the beginning you're trained how to say yes for everything. And you don't know how to say no. And that becomes a problem spiritually also. We just don't know how to say no. And here is Ahalya saying, please give me the strength to say no. We'll discuss that more in detail later. The third thing is the bow of Lord Shankar. Breaking of the bow of Lord Shankar. The breaking of the bow of Lord Shankar means that the false ego, the pride of the person is destroyed. So Tataka represents mind, Ahalya represents intelligence, Lord Shankar's bow represents the false ego. The destruction of the ego is the most difficult task. And it can only be done by the Supreme Lord Himself, Ishvara. Only He can help us break our ego, deal with our ego. In fact, all the 4 tasks can be done only by the Supreme Lord. Tataka can be killed only by the Lord. Ahalya can be delivered only by the Lord. The bow can only be destroyed by the Lord. And the bow of Lord Vishnu can be pulled only by the Supreme Lord. So this signifies that all the problems of our mind, intelligence, ego, and the heart, all the 4 problems
can only be resolved by the Supreme Lord. So when Lord Ram breaks the bow, he is demonstrating to us the process of breaking one's false ego. So the Ramayan is teaching us a very interesting process of how your false ego can be broken. And if you follow this process that Ram followed, we will also find that our false ego breaks. Our pride and our ego that we have, it breaks systematically. So when the bow was broken, you notice something very interesting in that episode. When I go into details of that episode, you will see it. But at this point itself, I'm bringing it to your notice so that when I'm speaking that episode in detail, it will come in your mind. To break the bow, or rather even pick up the bow, Ram did not go himself. Vishwamitra Muni told him. Vishwamitra Muni told him to go. Now, while Ram killed Tataka and while Ram delivered Ahalya, he had a smile on his face. He had a very cheerful, countenance. He had a very, there's a very beautiful smile that Ram has on his face. Oh my God, I want to tell you all this. I have been hearing one very sweet, story, which I at this point I should tell you all because it's about the smile of the Lord. There is one deity in Tamil Nadu where it's a deity of Lord Ram. And this particular form of the Lord has a very beautiful smile. And there's one Acharya who served in that temple. And he would every day go and have darshan of this form of the Lord Ram. And when this Acharya would go and have darshan of this particular form of Lord Ram, you would see the smile of Lord Ram. And this Acharya would be amazed. He would love the smile. And every day he would meditate on one pastime of Lord Ram. And he would write a sloka. He would write a poem appreciating that particular pastime of Lord Ram. And it's like, say, for example, one day he's meditating on, a very beautiful story when this Lord Ram went to the ashram of Sutikshna. There's a sage named Sutikshna. When Lord Ram went to the abode of Sutikshna, Lord Ram, it was late in the evening. It was beyond sunset. And Lord Ram told Sutikshna that I'm going to offer my evening sandhya and I'll come back. And he keeps something ready for us to eat. Roots and fruits, basically. So Ram and Lakshman went, did their evening prayers. They came back and they found Sutikshna sitting there. He has not made any arrangements at all. So Lord Ram asks him, why did you not make any arrangements for us to eat? Sutikshna tells something amazing. He tells the Lord, my dear Lord, I was confused. Because you only in the scriptures have told, in the Vedic scriptures, it is mentioned that one should not eat after dusk, after sunset. It's like it's a rule that the Vedic scriptures recommend. Obviously, we're going to eat prasad now after. So after doing this story, we're going to break that rule. But the point is that Sutikshna tells this rule to Ram. And he tells Ram that you only have mentioned in the scriptures that one should not eat after sunset. I was confused whether I should serve you or should I not serve you. You said that you want to eat, but in the scriptures it is said that you should not eat after sunset. I thought I should follow the scriptures. And I didn't arrange anything. When Lord Ram heard that, he smiled. He smiled. Because he was very happy that Sutikshna is giving more weightage to the words of the scriptures than to the Lord's himself, personal words. And Lord Ram smiled. So this Acharya, when he looks at the smile of Lord Ram in that temple, he says, my dear Lord, are you remembering that story and smiling? And he writes a poem. So every pastime of Lord Ram, he writes a poem like this, asking the Lord, are you smiling because of that story? every day he's remembering one story because of which Ram is smiling and he's composing a poem. And this entire series of verses that he has composed, poems he has composed, is known as Punnaga Ramayan. Punnaga Ramayan, the word Punnaga in Tamil means smile. And Punnaga Ramayan means the entire Ramayan is about Ram smiling. What an amazing meditation, right? So while Ram was killing Tataka, he had that, little smile on his face. While Ram was delivering Ahalya, he still had that same smile on his face. But when Lord Ram got up to break that bow, there was no expression on his face. There was no smile on his face. There was no frown on his face. Blank, expressionless face. Neither cheerfulness nor despair. So, why on this particular occasion Ram did not have any expression on his face? Why was Ram not joyful or stressed when he was going to break that bow? The question that one should really ask here is, who feels happy and sad? So now when a task is over, like say suppose you are doing some very complicated task, okay, in your office, your workplace, basically. You're doing a very complicated task. And to do that complicated task, you use different instruments. Like say, for example, a surgeon is doing surgery and he's using all these instruments to do surgery. After the surgery is over and surgery is successful, who should be happy? Should the surgeon be happy or should the knife be happy? Have you ever seen the knife smiling? I did successful surgery here. Huh? The knife is like, it doesn't really matter to the knife, isn't it? He's just, an instrument in the hand of the surgeon. So similarly, like say for example, if you shoot a bullet with a gun and the bullet hits the target, will it give great satisfaction to the gun or to the shooter? Obviously to the shooter, isn't it? So similarly, the idea of joy and sorrow comes when you think that you are the doer. The moment you think, I did it, you will become happy or you will become miserable. If you didn't succeed, you will be miserable. But if you succeeded, you will be very happy. And in both the cases, you are thinking that I did it. Right? Those who become depressed, they also think that I did it. Those who become proud, they also think that I did it. And Ram here didn't feel he did it. And because he didn't feel he did it, he was neither happy nor sad. Expressionless. Because according to Ram, it is his Guru Vishwamitra Muni whose blessings because of which he did it. So Ram was thinking, why should I feel joyful? Why should I feel I did it? So this whole thought process that Ram is having, like say for example, if a parrot is saying some beautiful verses, he's singing some beautiful poetry, and somebody hears a parrot singing beautiful verses, and he goes to the parrot and asks him, what is the meaning of these verses? The fellow will say, Arey, this parrot will not be able to give you meaning. He only knows that much that has been taught to him. He doesn't know anything beyond that. So similarly, for the one who has just mugged up verses, they will not be able to explain the inner meaning. They only know that much, basically. So here, what does all this signify? Lord Ram breaks the bow. Everybody knows that Ram broke the bow. Everybody saw it. Everybody saw with their own eyes that Ram broke the bow. But the point is that, did he do that action as a doer or did he do that action as an instrument? If you do that action as a doer, along with that you will experience success, failure, pain, pleasure. But if you do, so the moment you have this doer attitude, our ego will never be crushed. But the moment you realize, I didn't do it, there's no question of ego only, isn't it? There's no question of ego. So according to Ram, I didn't do it. Who did it? the blessings of my Guru. After the whole Ramayan gets over, Ram kills Ravan and comes back to Ayodhya. And his mother, Kaushalya, asks him, how did you cross over this massive army of Ravan? Such a huge army. How did you kill Ravan? And how did you destroy such a big army? Ram said something amazing, exactly reflecting this mood that we are seeing now. Ram told Mother Kaushalya that I managed to cross the ocean of Ravan's army because I had an amazing boat, which was the Vanara army. The Vanara army was like a very powerful boat on which I sat, and I had the oars in the form of my Guru Vashishta's blessings. By the blessings of my Guru and by the association, by the help of the Vanara army, I managed to cross the ocean. Ram never said, I did it. He said, by the blessings of these two people, I managed to do it. And then at the end of the whole thing, you know what Ram did? Ram kept his bow and arrow at the feet of his Guru Vashishta and left it there. He never picked it up. He just left it there at the feet of his Guru. He offered it back to his Guru. He offered whatever knowledge he had back to his Guru and teacher. So the way we have to deal with our own ego. We all have big egos, isn't it? The crazy thing is that even if we do nothing, we think we are great. And the worst thing is that this ego comes in our spiritual life. That's the worst. We come to the path of spirituality to subdue our ego. But you know what? Sometimes the most spiritual people are also the most egoistic people. Unfortunately. Isn't it? You learn few shlokas of Bhagavad Gita and then you think, oh my God, I am so knowledgeable. You give 1 or 2 lectures and then suddenly you start thinking that I am like so learned, isn't it? You start chanting a little bit and then you start thinking I am so elevated. You start looking down at other people as insignificant people. Yeah. You give up a little bit of tea, coffee, and follow the regulative principles, and you start thinking that I am so superior. Is this spiritual life? Is this what spirituality is supposed to be? So Lord Ram is teaching us the path of spirituality is when you learn to subdue your ego. And then when you realize that it's not me at all. It's not my strength because of which I'm able to chant. It's not my strength, my intelligence because I'm able to understand scriptures. It is not my ability because of which I'm able to do any kind of austerities or any kind of spiritual practices. It is by the blessings of my Guru. It is by the blessings of great teachers that I'm able to do something little. So why should I have a smile on my face? Or if I am not able to chant very nicely, why should I have a sadness on my face? Neither is mine. So if I'm not able to chant very well, it's not me because I'm insignificant. Ram tells Sugriv, go and fight with Bali. Sugriv tells him, I will go and fight with Bali, but who will kill him? Ram says, don't worry, you fight, I'll kill. That's exactly what Krishna tells Arjun in the Gita, isn't it? He says, you go and fight. Arjun is saying, such a big army, I'll fight. Krishna says, don't worry, I'll kill from behind. The idea here, the scriptures are trying to tell us is that we just have to be an instrument. The action is done by the Lord only. The action is done by the spiritual master's blessings only. We just have to show that I am trying. But don't take the credit of trying. Don't take the credit of thinking that I am doing it. It will be only foolish to think that I am doing it. And the fourth thing that we speak about is the pulling of Lord Vishnu's bow. So far we spoke about the killing of Tataka, which represents the mind, giving up false hope of people, things in this world, and reposing our hope and faith and trust in the Supreme Lord. And then the second thing we spoke about was the deliverance of Ahalya, which represents how the intelligence needs to be surrendered to the lotus feet of the Lord. And when we take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, that means we are aligning our intelligence with Dharma. And that is when we actually, purify our intelligence. The third thing we spoke about was the destruction of the bow of Lord Shiva, which represents the destruction of the false ego. The destruction of the false ego begins by understanding that it's not about me. The word Namaha, when we begin invocation, it says Namo Vishnupadaya, right? The word Namaha means Nama. It is not about me. We begin our prayers only by saying Namaha, and then we end by saying thinking that it's all about me. How ironical, isn't it? So the moment we say Namaha, it cannot be about me. So it should lead us to a point of expressionlessness. Expressionlessness means I am not elated by being successful. I am not depressed by being failure, because neither is about me. And then finally, the last thing is about pulling of Lord Vishnu's bow. So Lord Ram, he broke the bow of Lord Shiva, but when it comes to Lord Vishnu's bow, he did something very different. The bow of Lord Vishnu was pulled, attracted to Lord Ram. So just quickly telling the context, after the Ramayan, after the marriage of Sita and Ram happens, they come across Parashuram on their way to Ayodhya. And Parashuram challenges Lord Ram. And he tells him, you have broken Lord Shiva's bow. That is nothing. I have Lord Vishnu's bow here with me. I want you to lift this bow. And Lord Ram does not even put an effort to lift Lord Vishnu's bow. The bow gets pulled towards Lord Ram automatically. Parshuram is holding it. Suddenly the bow is not in his hand, it is in Ram's hand. And Parshuram thinks, how did it happen? So quickly the bow just went from my hand to Ram's hand directly. And pulling of the bow of Lord Vishnu means pulling oneself towards the Lord. So in the previous sections we saw the mind, intelligence, and the false ego are destroyed, and the consciousness is surrendered to the Lord. One, just by destruction of the ego, just by purifying the intelligence, and just by dealing with the mind, we cannot attain fulfillment. The fulfillment comes only when we are pulled towards the Lord. And that is the completion of the process of bhakti. The problem with most sadhakas is that they learn all the techniques of mind control. They learn all the logical understanding of how to purify the intelligence. And then we systematically understand how to destroy the false ego. But somehow we forget to develop attraction towards the Lord. We forget to develop attraction towards the Lord, the holy names of the Lord, and the pastimes of the Lord. So this is about developing that attraction towards the pastimes of the Lord and towards the holy names of the Lord. It is explained that the idea of Lord Ram pulling the bow of Lord Vishnu is a natural attraction that the living entity has towards the Supreme Lord. So that bow naturally got attracted to the Lord. So the Lord didn't have to put effort. The bow naturally got attracted towards him, basically. So all of us have a very natural attraction towards the Lord. But unfortunately, we don't spend time sufficiently developing that attraction. We spend a lot of time developing attraction towards things and people of this world. How many hours you spend on Instagram looking at, different people, different objects, different stuff of this world, right? So we spend a lot of time developing an attraction towards things, isn't it? How much time we spend, looking at things that we want to get attracted towards. But how much time do we spend by in putting effort in trying to get attracted to the Lord? That's what the whole idea is over here. So We all have a natural attraction towards the Lord, but unfortunately, this natural attraction towards the Lord, we don't invest time in developing that natural attraction. Just like that bow of Lord Vishnu automatically went into the hands of Lord Ram, that is the kind of natural attraction we have to develop over our lifetime towards the Lord. Today, we have a natural attraction towards things of this world. We have a very natural attraction towards things of this world. But we do not have that much of a natural attraction towards the Supreme Lord. Can we spend 6 hours doing kirtan? Gaur Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj used to celebrate festivals. We all go to ISKCON temples for celebrating festivals, right? But Gaur Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj had a very different type of festival. He would call the whole village together and will say, today we will have a whole day festival. And obviously people were excited, thinking there will be a big feast and there will be, so many nice things and we'll get to dress nicely and all. And then when they would go to Gaur Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj's festivals, they would see nothing, no arrangement done. He would say, today we're going to chant all day long, no eating, no drinking, no sleeping. This is his definition of festival. And people were shocked, they were bewildered, they were not ready for it because none of them were having that kind of attraction, isn't it? So you tell someone, today we're going to spend a whole day in a theme park, they'll say, fine, totally ready for it. You say, today whole day we're going to spend in a mall, totally ready for it. The whole day we're going to do spending sightseeing in different exotic holiday destinations, totally into it. You tell someone, whole day we're going to spend in the temple chanting. People will curse you. Imagine, we declare that tomorrow no prasad, only chanting all day. How many people will come? All of you will go in your own different direction or make your own arrangements, isn't it? Saying Haribol is easy. So this whole idea of developing natural attraction to the Lord is something that we have to put effort towards. So in this particular episode, we find that the idea of developing this natural attraction to the Lord in such a way that we automatically get pulled to the Lord is what is needed for us to complete the loop of bhakti. So we spoke about Ahalya. We spoke about Tataka first, how one should stop, developing attraction towards things and people of this world, and stop having hope, expectations, and trust and faith in people of this world, but rather put our entire energy and effort in trying to develop that attraction towards the Supreme Lord. And then we spoke about developing the idea of dealing with our intelligence by reposing our intelligence at the lotus feet of the Lord and not allowing our intelligence to get fooled around and attracted by different temptations. And then we spoke about breaking the bow of Lord Shiva by destroying the false ego with the understanding that I am not the doer. I'm simply an instrument in the hand of my Guru and the Supreme Lord. Whatever abilities, whatever strengths that we have, it's simply given to us, and we are simply an instrument. Just like the instrument doesn't get proud, we do not get proud because it's not about us. Namaha. And then finally, we spoke about the bow of Lord Vishnu, which Parashuram gave. And just like the bow got naturally attracted towards Lord Ram, we also have to start developing our natural attraction towards the Lord. And to develop the natural attraction towards the Lord, we have to put in efforts. Just like we have put in efforts to develop natural attraction towards many things of this world and many people of this world, we also have to put in that kind of energy, effort, time, and and also have the desire to develop the natural attraction towards the Lord. These yatras are almost like test, or rather before you actually take up some real exam, you go through these small unit tests and all, right, that prepare you for the main exam, right? So these yatras are like small little mock tests, They are little preparatory times to just see how much you have actually prepared for the spiritual world. Imagine you land up in the spiritual world one day and you're not really prepared for it. After half a day, you'll say, "Arey, I'm done, Baba. I can't handle so much bhakti." You'll start running away, isn't it? Because in the spiritual world, all that happens is this only: Katha, Kirtan, going to all holy places and having darshan. That's all there is there in the spiritual world. And if you're not able to do it for 7 days in a year, what will you do it, for a lifetime, isn't it? Forever. So these yatras are like small preparations to just help you develop your attraction to the Lord. 7 days, simply do nothing but develop attraction to the Lord. Stop gossiping for 7 days. Stop backbiting for 7 days. Stop talking ill about others for 7 days. Stop bothering about material prosperity for 7 days. Stop bothering about your beauty and your, looks and your, whatever personal things are there for 7 days. Just stop all those attractions that we have towards other things in this world for 7 days and try to develop attraction to the Lord for 7 days. If you can manage to do that for 7 days, you might be able to manage for a little more. But if you're not able to manage for 7 days also, that means your attraction is very, very minimal, basically. So try to use these yatras as opportunities for you to develop that natural attraction towards the Lord. And hopefully, by these small, little, going out for a few days at a time and trying to observe ourselves and develop attraction, eventually over a period of a lifetime, we might be able to we reach a point where we are like that bow, naturally attracted to the hand of the Lord, naturally attracted towards the Lord, and without a struggle at all. I hope this is not too much analysis. So going forward, we will not be getting so analytical. Going forward, we'll be sticking to the storyline, basically. But I thought, just in the beginning of our yatra, I kind of should give this kind of a experience to see how y'all can handle it. Because what I have seen is that people love katha. People love when I tell story, But the moment I start getting deeply analytical, people go to sleep, So I thought, let me test this audience to see how much y'all can handle. Anyway, so this is hopefully prepared all of y'all for what is to come. For the next 7 days, we'll be going sequentially into the Balakand of the Ramayan and towards the last part. So all the episodes that I spoke about today, we're going to spend hours. We're going to spend at least an hour discussing earlier. We're going to spend at least 2 hours discussing the bow, Lord Ram. We're going to spend, an hour discussing Kataka. So each of these episodes, we're going to spend a lot of time going deeper into all these episodes. But I just gave you all a sample to experience what is coming forward now. So then we all remain excited for the next 7 days, basically. Now, at this point in time, I'll give you all a little context of Gaya that we're going to be seeing tomorrow. Since most of tomorrow, we will not have time to actually meet. Tomorrow morning, after the morning program, we might have half an hour of discussion on Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's visit to Gaya. Achyut Babu will be sharing with us before we go out for Pind Daan. So we're just trying to figure out the timings of that. But other than that, we may not have much time to discuss Gaya and to tell you all what exactly to look forward to in Gaya. And tomorrow is the only day that we have in Gaya, right? So I thought I'll prepare you all right now, so that tomorrow, when you all spend the time in all those places that I'm going to be talking about, you all will be properly prepared and you will have the right context. Okay. So to help you understand this, I'll have to tell you all a story. And this is a very old Puranic story of a demon named Gayasur. So Gaya is named after this demon named Gayasur. So Gayasur, he had so much power that he could expand himself into 125 yojanas. Typically, 1 yojana is 10 miles. So 125 yojanas is 1,250 miles, practically. About 2,500 kilometers, roughly, is Gayasur's body, basically. So Gayasur was so tall, so huge. Imagine his weight. So powerful he was. And wherever he went, he created massive damage. Kings, sages, gods, nobody had the power to match him. And all this power that Gayasur had was given to him by Lord Vishnu himself. And because Lord Vishnu himself had conferred such powers on Gayasur, there was nobody in this world that could actually counteract him. When Lord Brahma came to know about this demon named Gayasur, he realized that he has to do something about it. And obviously, they can't go to Lord Vishnu because Vishnu only gave him these powers. So Brahmaji thought of a plan. He called Gayasur to meet him. And as soon as Gayasur came, Brahmaji began to praise Gayasur like anything. And he began to praise the physique of Gayasur. He began to praise the beauty, the handsomeness of Gayasur's face. He began to praise the good qualities of Gayasur. And as Brahma was praising Gayasur like anything, this Gayasur's heart melted. Anyone you praise, that's all. Their heart melts. So if you ever want to touch somebody's heart, say something good about them. Obviously, it should be genuine. That's best. But anytime you appreciate someone genuinely, their heart melts. And Gayasur was so touched by Brahma's appreciation. He told Brahma, I'll do anything for you. Whatever you ask me, I'll do. Just say what you desire. So Brahma, he already had a plan. So he told Gayasur, you are such a good person. And therefore, and because you have remembered Lord Vishnu so much, your body is purified by remembrance of Lord Vishnu and by the blessings of Lord Vishnu. And because you are so purified, I wish to perform a yajna on your body. So he says, I'm not able to find such a big place to perform yajna. Your body is so huge. So I think it's very apt for performing yajna. So if you give me permission, I can do yajna on your body only. Gayasur said, he has never been respected so much. So he really felt so touched and so acknowledged, and so honored. He said, you please use my body to do yajna. And then Brahma told him, please lie down over here and don't move. Gayasur said, see, I will not move only if something very heavy is kept on me. Something very heavy is kept on me, then I will not move. Brahma, he brought a rock from Brahmaloka. And the name of this rock that he brought was known as Devarupini. And he brought this rock from Brahmaloka and placed it on Gayasur's body. And by placing that heavy rock on Gayasur's body, Brahma was able to control Gayasur and keep him in place. And Gayasur was finding that rock very heavy to bear, And he started expressing his, but obviously now what happens was, he could not express saying that I'm finding it too heavy because, his macho image would get affected, So he just kept tolerating that weight patiently. And then eventually Lord Brahma did the yajna and invited Lord Vishnu to come and receive the fruit of the yajna. When Lord Vishnu came there, he descended, he came and stood on that rock. So now already the rock is so heavy. On top of that, Brahma is sitting on it and doing yajna. Now on top of that, Lord Vishnu is coming and standing on it. And this fellow, he couldn't bear it. He started crying. He was like in so much agony. He said, Lord Brahma has called my body sacred. Now Lord Vishnu's feet are on my body. Now I have been completely purified. So he says, please, now I have a request to make from my side. And he said, because I have done this service, he said, I want this boon that anyone who comes here to visit this place gets moksha, liberation. And I promise that in return, I will never get up from here. I will stay here only, like this only. You just give me this one boon that anybody who visits this place, Gaya, gets moksha. Lord Vishnu and Lord Brahma granted this boon to Gayasur, and then this particular place came to be known as Gaya. And from that point onwards, anybody who visits Gaya, it is said liberation is granted. For devotees, liberation is not of so much interest to them. We look for something much higher than liberation. What is it that we're looking for? This is higher than liberation. We look for Krishna Prema. It's the love of God, which is much higher than liberation. So you can be rest assured that because you have come to Gaya, you're all liberated souls. Simply by being in Gaya. But now you have to look for something further, right? Which is beyond liberation, right? So, because people started coming to visit Gaya and everybody got liberated, there was a big problem because every single person, whether deserving or undeserving, getting liberated after coming to Gaya. And it became such a situation that practically Yamaraj, his hell became empty. Nobody is coming there only. Everybody is getting liberated, every single person is getting liberated. And then from that point onwards, this whole, ritual began of every human being, at least in India, whoever is there, definitely comes to Gaya at least once in their lifetime. Yeah. I don't know how many of you have heard this. Every single person who is born in the land of India will know in their mind, they know that one day you have to go to Gaya. At least once you have to go to Gaya, basically. So that's how the whole ritual, began, basically. And then also, it is said that Lord Vishnu, when he saw that everybody was getting liberated and this whole thing was becoming a little unbalanced, Lord Vishnu rectified this a little bit. So what Vishnu did was, he pressed his feet and pushed Gayasur into the earth. So basically, the whole body of Gayasur went into the earth, and it became a little difficult to reach Gayasur. So not everybody was able to reach Gayasur, right? So the place where Vishnu pushed Gayasur with his feet, that particular place is known as Vishnupad. It's a place where Lord Vishnu's lotus feet are embedded over there, basically. And it's explained that when you touch that particular part of the stone, that is when you get access to that Gayasur, basically. So tomorrow when we go there, you will actually be taken into a temple where this is the Vishnupad Temple, where you will actually find that original stone, which is on which Gayasur, or which was placed on Gayasur, and on which the yajna happened, performed by Lord Brahma, and on which Lord Vishnu came and stood personally. In fact, you will also see the Vishnupad, the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu marked on that stone. The pujaris there will actually show you all the lotus feet. They'll mark the lotus feet with red chandan. So you will actually be able to see, the red sandalwood on the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. And it is explained that so when you for you to even reach that stone, you have to bend down a little bit. So it's a little difficult to reach that particular place, So it is said that when you touch that stone, when you offer, food to him, when you offer, something to Gayasur by reaching down and touching the stone, then you get that the ritual of liberation, basically. And also, it is said that from that point onwards began the ritual of offering pinda, to offering the food to departed souls at Gaya. So the place where this Lord Vishnu's feet is there is known as Vishnupad Temple. There is a 40 centimeter long footprint of Lord Vishnu embedded on solid rock, and it is surrounded by like a silver plated basin, basically. And obviously, the yajna that Lord Brahma began, it never got completed. It is still going on, it is said. And then Gayasur never woke up. He's still lying there, and he is offering his body for all the devotees to come and stay on and offer their respects to Lord Vishnu. And Gayasur is still receiving the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu on his body. Gaya is a very, very holy place. From the story, there are many, many beautiful lessons that you can learn. One of the lessons that you can learn, a very important lesson, is that no matter how bad a person is, inside that person there is still a good person. Gayasur was a very bad demon. But Brahma, simply by appreciating him a little bit, by simply speaking some nice words about him, he accessed the little goodness inside Gayasur. All of us, we may come across so many Gayasurs in our own lives. Here is a very simple story on how you can access the little Gayasur, the innocent person that is within that Gayasur. You might find Gayasurs in your office. You might find Gayasurs in your homes. You might find Gayasurs in your neighborhood. Remember, within that Gayasur, who's apparently externally powerful looking demon, is still a very innocent child inside. When you appreciate that person genuinely, when you respect that person, when you say something good about that person genuinely, you'll suddenly start accessing that person who is deep within, buried inside that huge big demon outside. This place, Gaya, also has many other holy places that are connected to it, which are very, very important and which are, of course, connected to Lord Ram himself. It is explained that after Lord Ram became established as the king of Ayodhya, he was advised to perform Shraddha for his father Dasharatha Maharaj at Gaya. So Lord Ram, Sita and Lakshman come to Gaya to offer Shraddha to their father. Obviously now, Bharat Maharaj had done that. Bharat and Shatrughan had done, when they were in Ayodhya itself. So Lord Ram, Lakshman and Sita, they come to perform Shraddha for Dasharatha Maharaj. And when they come over here to Gaya, the sage who was performing the Shraddha for Ram and Lakshman, over here, he tells Ram Lakshman to gather some ingredients to perform the Shraddha ceremony. So Ram Lakshman, they go to gather the ingredients that are necessary to perform the Shraddha. And that auspicious time for the Shraddha was passing. And Ram and Lakshman were nowhere to be seen. The sage was becoming restless and he told Sita that better you only do the Pind Daan because it has to be done in that auspicious time, And so the sage told Sita to make balls from sand of the river. There's a river called Falgu River. So so the sage tells Sita to make balls from the sand of the river. So Sita Devi performs Pind Daan over there, and she wants to offer those balls of sand. So when Sita Devi is offering those balls of sand, Dasharatha Maharaj hand appears from underground, and he receives the Pind Daan from Sita Devi, and it is explained that the offerings were accepted by Dasharatha Maharaj. And after some time, Lord Ram and Lakshman come with all the ingredients for the Pind Daan, and Sita tells them the Pind Daan is over already. Dasharatha Maharaj came and accepted offerings also, and the whole Shraddha ritual is completed. So Ram, he was not ready to believe only. He said, how is it possible? He asked her, is there any proof for this incident that actually Dasharatha came and received the Pinda? So that time there was a cow standing there close by, and then there was the river, Falguni River herself flowing, and then there was a banyan tree close by. These were the only three witnesses, in that area. So Sita Devi told the cow and the river, said, can you bear witness for what you saw? The cow and the river both remained silent. They didn't say anything. They didn't give witness. So Sita cursed the two of them. She cursed the cow that because you did not give your witness to what you saw, so she cursed that your mouth will always be unclean. There will be saliva drooling from your mouth, So if you see the cows have saliva drooling, right? That is the curse of Mother Sita. And then she also cursed the river, the particular Falguni River, that she said that because you have not given witness, you will become a false river. So she said you will become a Falgu River. What does it mean? So the river's name was Falguni. So she called the river as Falgu. And if you go even today to that particular river, it's a very strange type of river. There is no water. You will not see any water on the outside. But if you dig your hand a little bit inside, the mud, you'll actually find it's wet. So it's probably the only river in the world that is like this. Very strange type of river. Water is flowing, but it's flowing below. It is not flowing on top. So this is a river called Falgu River that you will all actually see. And the banyan tree that Sita, asked, the banyan tree gave witness. And the banyan tree told, yes, I saw Dasharatha Maharaj coming and receive the Pinda. And Sita Devi became very pleased with the banyan tree. And she blessed the banyan tree, that you become immortal. And that your leaves will never shed all through the year. And because of that, the tree came to be known as Akshayavat. Akshaya means immortal tree. So from that time onwards, the banyan tree has become worshipable because of the blessings of Mother Sita. So these are all the places that you can visit while you're going tomorrow for doing the Pind Daan. The Falgu River you can visit. Vishnupad Temple you will visit. Then there is a place called Ram Gaya or Sita Kund, which I'll talk about. Akshayavat, the tree is still there. The ancestor of that tree, or rather the descendant of the tree is still there. Both Gaya we have already gone to. There is also another very important place here called Mangal Gauri Shakti Peeth. So if you see that there are many Shakti Peeths around India, right? There are 51 Shakti Peeths around India. And the Shakti Peeths originated by a very powerful process. When Sati, who was the wife of Lord Shiva, she self-immolated herself. And Lord Shiva was carrying the body of Sati and dancing around like a madman. Lord Vishnu comes and cuts the body of Sati into many, many parts. And, when Shiva is just dancing like mad, each of the parts of Sati falls in different places. And this particular place where the breast of Sati falls is a temple known as Mangal Gauri Shakti Peeth. It is one of the 51 Shakti Peeths that you can have darshan of. And finally, there is also another so this Ram Gaya and Sita Kund, this is exactly opposite Vishnupad Temple, but it is on the other bank of the Falgu River. I'm not sure whether you will be able to actually go there, but you can have darshan from distance also. So this is the place. So this particular temple is the exact spot where Dasharatha Maharaj hand came out and received the Pinda from Mother Sita. And this is the exact same spot where Sita offered the Pind Daan, basically. And so that temple represents that particular spot. And finally, the last place that you will need to know is a place known as Punpun River. Is the name of a river called Punpun River. And this river has a very interesting story connected to it. It's another very holy river of Gaya. And it is explained that a lot of every pilgrim particularly goes to that particular place, the confluence. So it is said there are many incidents that happen there. Two incidents I'll mention at this point. One of the incidents is that when Lord Vishnu has Vamana Dev, he was extending his feet, right, across the universe. It is said that in his second stride, when he was taking his second foot, his feet fell at the confluence of the Punpun and Ganga River, basically. So this particular Punpun River is one of the places where Vamanadeva's lotus feet touched, basically. So that is one of the reasons that this river has become purified. But there's also another very interesting story connected to this river. This river originally was called as Adi Ganga. But later on, this river received the name Punpun for a very interesting reason. So on the banks of this Adi Ganga lived a prostitute whose name was Punpuniya. And one time, after taking a bath in evening bath, she was returning home, and she came across a place where Srimad Bhagavatam was being recited. So this prostitute, she sat there. She was very attracted to the Bhagavatam, and she sat there. She heard the entire Bhagavatam recitation. At the end of the whole discourse, this prostitute, she went to the speaker, and she was in a mood of repentance. And she begged the speaker for some way in which she can get purified. So the speaker told her that Srimad Bhagavatam has already purified you. The very fact that you have a desire to rectify it means the purification has begun. Srimad Bhagavatam has already purified you. And then she said, then the speaker told her, now spend the rest of your life absorbed in Krishna Bhakti. And this Punpuniya, she gave up everything. She gave up all her wealth. She gave up everything. And she began to do severe tapasya to please Lord Vishnu. After many, many years of doing severe tapasya, Lord Vishnu granted her boons. And when Vishnu asked her to ask for any boon, this is the boon that this prostitute asked for. She prayed that my body has been an instrument of doing so much sin. And so many people coming in contact with me, they have become sinful. But now I wish that my body becomes a medium of purification of thousands and millions of people ahead. And Lord Vishnu granted her the boon, and he transformed her into a river. And that river is known as Adi Ganga. So the river Adi Ganga becomes transformed, and especially gets her name. And from that point onwards, Lord Vishnu blessed Turpuniya that this Adi Ganga will be famous by your name, and anyone who bathes in this river and meditates and offers Pind Daan will go to Vaikuntha along with their forefathers. And later in her life, this prostitute left her body in this river itself and went to the spiritual world. And since that point in time, this river came to be known as Punpun River. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also came and visited this particular river, basically, from a Gaudiya Vaishnava perspective. And this river is mentioned in the Vayu Puran and Padma Puran and in the Gaya Mahatmya. And specifically, this river is called Punpun for one reason. This is because this lady, Punpuniya, her name was given to this river. But it also means Puna Puna. The word Puna Puna in the spiritual sense means that simply by bathing in this river, again and again, all your sins are removed. Puna Puna. All again and again, your sins are removed. Therefore, this is called Punpuna, basically. So this is another river in which all of us can have, a bath, or you can at least take 3 dips of water and pray at this particular place. Of course, all the rituals are going to happen in this area only. So you will 100% be going to this river and taking a bath in this river. At this point in time, before we have prasad, we'll have 5 or 10 minutes of kirtan. Before we do kirtan, anybody has 1 or 2 questions we can take up before we start kirtan? Any questions, comments, anything you would like to share?
Which is that exceptional temple where the hand of a sister.
Oh, this is known as Sita Kund, Ram Gaya, it's called. Yes.
So she said that the Ariranga is known as the Punpun River because of that place. Is it the same river which was named as Punpun River, or did it transform completely into another river?
Okay. So it is the same river that was transformed.
No, is it the same river, same Adiganga river?
Yeah.
Named as Punpun
Correct.
River?
Yeah. The Adi Ganga river got named as Punpun River. Yeah.
You also said that one of the rivers, Mother Sita cursed because it did not bear witness.
Yeah.
And doesn't Saraswati also flow under?
Yeah. Saraswati also flows, but Saraswati flows on top for some time and then it disappears. But this river doesn't flow only. It just disappears from below only. That's the difference. Anything else? Any other questions or comments? Yes.
When you have this done once,
Yeah.
can we have a Pushpa before?
I wouldn't know about it. We can ask the pujaris who are there. Okay, we'll connect you with the pujari. You can ask them. So all questions about Pind Daan, we'll get some specialist who will come and help us. There's one devotee from here who will come and help us in it. Yes.
I came to know about this answer from our restaurant devotee who had come in the morning for the Pind Daan. He said you can do Pind Daan 3 times in a year, 3 times in a lifetime, because whenever you do, it is of good. So you have to do at least 3 times in a night.
Okay, you can do 3 times. Anything else? Yes.
I wanted to ask, you said that we shouldn't have faith called what trust is. How do we build relationships?
See, relationships should be. See, the point is that when you serve them without any expectations, that's the foundation of any relationship actually. By expectations, we actually kill relationships. When you serve someone, when you actually do everything possible, do your duties, do everything possible to serve someone without expecting anything, what can be a more higher form of relationship than that? Isn't it? So I'm not saying that we don't build relationships. I'm just saying that the expectation that is destroying our relationship, we cut that off. Okay. Thank you for that question. Yes.
We spoke about Rama's smile. How about his sense of humor? Could you share a few stories?
On Rama's sense of humor? Okay. Ram's sense of humor is very dangerous. And so, Ram is not a humorous person. And it's highly recommended that he doesn't do any humor. There are only 2 times in his life where he did something funny and he really suffered a lot because of that. The one time was he had a little fun with Manthara. When he was a small child, he shot a mud ball at Manthara's hunchback. And she kept that in her mind for 20 years. And she took revenge later, And the second time Ram had a little fun was with Surpanaka. And that went to another direction only, yeah. So there are some people that should not be funny. Krishna, when he has fun, he gets away with all of it. He can have all the fun he wants and he gets away with it. But when Ram has fun once or twice, he really suffers. So I guess, some of us have a sense of humor and some of us don't. Those who don't have a sense of humor, please don't try to be humorous. Yeah, it will backfire. And those who have a sense of humor, don't try to be serious, it will backfire. Okay? So we'll have some kirtan for some time and then we'll have prasad. So today's kirtan is dedicated for several devotees whom we know of who are going through a lot of health crisis at this point in time. We'll pray very sincerely for many of the devotees. Some of them were actually a part of this Yatra also. Some of them are here also. I'm not going to name all of them, but I want